coming from the other side of the globe. It's a very beautiful weather. I decided to enjoy it outside, but again, it is the British weather, so you still have to dress as warm as possible because we are not in the summer again. We are literally back in the winter. So good morning to all our listeners and viewers, and let me come back again to you in the studio, Mr. Archie.
Yes, listeners, Mr. OLAYOMI KOIKI. For you in our North London studios, but standing outside trying to enjoy a bit of the breeze. Yesterday, how the rain beat me. I went out and then I remember my producer telling me to take a brolly. I said, no, I'm just going to be walking. And the rain just came down like no man's business. But it was good. It made you enjoy how Africans do enjoy when they suffer. I don't know, enjoy how they suffer when they travel that way. But wherever you are, it is already okay. And I hope you are doing very well, sir.
Well, I'm doing very well. It's been a 24 hours trying to monitor things back in Nigeria, as there's quite a lot of development. We couldn't join yesterday, but we might catch up on some of the, the speech, by the president. But again, I'm doing very well, like you said. And as usual, the family is doing very great as well.
Okay, we thank God for that. Thanks to everybody who has joined in. Share the broadcast with your friends and loved ones and invite them to like our pages. Now let's crack up. Now, yesterday, the 61st anniversary of the Nigeria's independence. I wrapped the president's speech, just picking a bit from there. But what I read out of that speech, or picked out of that speech, was that he was talking about the fact that Nigeria seemed to be resolute upon all the undertones and stuff that has been going on. He talked about the Biafra War, which is about 57 years ago, and everything that took place. And it was said that upon all those things that came up that could have broken the nation,
Well, you're quite right. An independent speech is to give hope and also to deliver the government manifesto. Is also a way to engage, the average, citizens, regardless of wherever you are around the world. So, this president's speech yesterday, as other speech, it's something that a lot of people, review and continue to review as well. This is how the BBC picked on the headline: the Nigerian president pleads for patience amid tough economy. That is the most important thing, because when we talk about the citizen this morning, average citizens wants to know what next for them. So you talked about a couple of things that the president spoke about, but let's quickly touch on it. He also insisted that Nigeria was winning the war on the violence that has killed thousands in the north over the recent years, a declaration that would seem far-fetched to some, because as at yesterday, 5 innocent lives were also killed by the Boko Haram terrorists in Borno State. The other part is that there was a low turnout with the protest, maybe in the amaze of fear that this government has really gone after the citizens very tough. When it comes to the journalists, the civil society, we saw the NLC labor that was picked up on his way to London some few weeks back. So maybe for that reason the turnout for the protests were very low in Abuja and in Lagos as well. So protesters in the capital as well in Lagos, also the 64th anniversary of independence from the UK, to denounce what they see as the government handling. The other thing that the president spoke about, is asking now Nigerians to be patient. I believe, President Muhammadu Buhari, the former president, said the same thing for 8 years, telling Nigerians that things will be getting better, and it seems that, it's getting much difficult. He talked about that he has also scrapped the policy of pegging the naira to the US dollar. I have sent money back home this morning, and the average 25 pounds, which is about 2 hours wages for an average, earner in the UK, has given about 55,000 naira equivalent. That is, about, almost some percentage higher than the minimum wage, which is 30,000 naira. I think on Monday, we talked about 17 state governors now putting out a panel to review, how they will pay 70,000 naira to the average minimum wage as well. One thing also is about the inflation. Right now, the inflation in Nigeria is about 32%. That is quite high. And that literally means that many Nigerians are dwelling into abject poverty. But I can also tell you that many diaspora that Japa, like I spoke to, a voice note that was sent to me. This individual came in 2 years ago through, a kind of a student visa. Things didn't go right. But right now, it seems that Japa is becoming very difficult to get in. But those that get in are also struggling when convert the currency that they came in with some 2 years ago compared to the inflation of the almost 2,200 naira to the pound this morning. So I'm going to come back again to you in the studio, Mr. Archie. Once again, this is the Starr Radio UK. And like I said, quite a lot have still been reviewed as we are reviewing it again this morning, 48 hours after that speech.
Well, interesting. 48 hours after the speech, how did Nigerians accept or receive that speech? Did they agree with the president or what? Just bear with us. My image is not showing, but we have OLAYOMI KOIKI on, so we'll go on that, and then the technical team will sort it out. But looking at the various states, we know that the Southeast were saying they were not going to import, they were telling their people not to be imported. Now, the Southwest, how would the how did it take?
Well, while I was, reviewing the social media, preparing for the program this morning, I saw the big celebration in America where, the citizens, came out. I'm not sure whether it's a government sponsor, because we know how the government works around when it comes to, celebration like these, especially a government that doesn't have, very good reputation, always tend to use the diaspora as part of their gimmick. And one thing we got to remind ourselves is, the many Nigerians back home are reacting and continue to react, even as, the World Bank has again approved 1.57 billion financing package for Nigeria. The World Bank is already the largest lender to Nigeria with almost about $15 billion in loan to the country. Whether these loans are going to be used, for the right purposes is a different thing entirely. But many Nigerians are still reacting, to the president's speech, because it has not given the kind of hope and the expectation that I'd love to. But like I said, it seems that on the other side of the globe, in the US, many, the second, the fourth, the fifth generation Nigerians are celebrating with a good, lifestyle, which many disagree with. I'll try and get the post, and we can see how Nigerians, are responding, to that particular, event that took place. I'm not too sure whether there was a lot of activities in UK I'm not aware of, but I'm sure since we don't have an ambassador at the the Nigerian High Commission in London, I'm sure there will be a very low-key activities as well at the embassy yesterday.
Okay, listeners, this is Starr Radio UK, a bit about the 64th anniversary from Nigeria. So I'm working on North Studios, the match here in the South Studios, that we are bringing you the morning show updates from Nigeria coming your way. Now let's come to one of the issues that we're looking at, that is pertaining to having enough crude oil, and we have enough crude oil in Nigeria. We're looking at finished products, okay, the refineries. Now, an entity, a private entity, so this morning, one person have been able to build the biggest refinery in Africa, okay? Now, we have the whole of Nigeria with all the money and everything. And one refinery, not that we are building it from the scratch, but I'm a plan. That's what we have. If something, oh, we're going to start the refinery, and we're going to start, and the promise is what have they said now?
It's quite, a sad one when we talk about, the oil and gas industry in Nigeria, and when we talk about the refinery as well. First and foremost, Nigeria continue to import, as many of our consuming petrol in the country, in as much as we have, the Dangote refinery that is already up and running as well. But again, before going into the Port Harcourt refinery that this government told us will be up and running, but it seems that is not coming as we know. Petrol import dropped by 3.58 billion liters in 1 year. That is coming from the National Bureau of Statistics. According to 2023, we literally brought in just bear with me because we're not going to stay too long because of the other engagement, but total petrol drop was about 20.30 billion. But let me go back quickly to the refinery. The Port Harcourt refinery has now missed the 7th production rollout deadline. As we know it at the moment, the Nigerian National Petroleum Company has again failed to begin fuel production at the Port Harcourt refinery in Rivers State. I'm going to come back again to you in the studio.
Okay, listen, let's start ready. Mr. OLAYOMI KOIKI in our North London studios. I'm actually here in the South studios. Those are some of the stories making the rounds, but we'll leave Yomi to bring you all the rest of the stories because we have other pressing things that he needs to see to as well. Over to you.
Well, like we said, the October 1st protest record was a low turnout, and the reason for that is many Nigerians are probably a little bit worried or scared that they might end up, in Bola Tinubu's prison. And that is probably the reason why, they've not been able to come out as much as the expectation as well. Nigeria plans 70% wheat self-sufficient. How are we going to do that? I'm not too sure because the northern part of the country is still going through a lot of troubles. We know that majority of the wheat being used in the country is coming from Ukraine. But since the war broke out between Russia and Ukraine, it's been a very difficult one as well. We're going to move swiftly as well as we continue to talk about, the road network in Nigeria. Nigeria is still, the 6th worst road network in the continent. And yesterday, 10 people died in the Lagos road crash. According to the report coming, these 10 include 3 children, 7 adults, all lost their lives in an accident at Abule Osun area of Lagos Badagry Expressway on the Tuesday night. RIP to them, and we hope that the government will continue to review most of the road network across the country as well. I'm going to go straight to the social media this morning. There's a lot of reaction coming out of that area this morning, and as many people continue to to follow the development between the Iran-Israel situation. Many responding back to the Port Harcourt refinery. These are how Nigerians are responding to that. Bear with me. I'm trying to. All right, we'll come back to that call later. Yeah, bear with me. There was an interruption, earlier, but I'm back on the way to the studio. These are the response from Nigerians before we bring the program to an end from my end. Nothing this government will do that will work for the people. It's always failure upon failure. These are the reaction from the Port Harcourt refinery that we talked about. Port Harcourt refinery misses the 7th deadline to restart operation. This country, is a very, it's a very harsh word. I'll probably not use that, from these, individual. But according to, even when the Oga said, trust me, I am not lying, he ended up lying. And I'm sure they're referring to President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. They play. Now, who no go believe now. Many Nigerians, after 64 years, knows that, the country is going through a lot of difficult time. But how this government plans to manage the economy, the insecurity, is something that many people continue to talk about. But I'm going to come back again to you in the studio, and then, we can kind of, have about maybe 2-3 minute discussion on some of the most important pressing issues back home.
Okay, listen, let's start ready, UK. Now, interestingly, when it comes to the refinery bit, we thought that having the Dangote coming upstream and stuff, we know that now it's this year that it's started. So the statistics will be from next year for us to know how good they performed and if the quotation of finished product, petrol, spirit, has been fed. But looking at it all, has it impacted with the few days that it's gone on? Has it impacted the prices of fuel in Nigeria? And can people say, oh, we are better off, we are buying petrol maybe a bit cheaper than what we were?
Well, that is the question. Many Nigerians are still wondering if the petrol, is being produced in Nigeria. I mean, we have the crude oil. Dangote is already in the market right now, but many Nigerians are still struggling to even get their hands on the PMS. But let's wait and see a couple of months if the naira that will be used to purchase it, according to the president, will make any impact. But for now, the average Nigerians are still paying high price, to get the PMS.
Okay, now just one more, and then if you want to sign up. Now, the federal government is doing that subsidy, the rice thing that they are giving. Do you think that has also impacted the people positively? Because you're giving rice. I need tomatoes. I need oil. I need all those bits. I'm already struggling. How are people coping with that?
Well, the government subsidy on the rice is just more or less like subsidy on other products, especially the crude oil. The PMS, until that was taken off, from the according to the government. Rice production in the country should have been a top notch, but because we have imported these for a very long time, investment hasn't gone into it. So right now, the government continue to subsidize the rice as much as other areas as well. But one thing is, how much more can this government continue to subsidize if we are not sufficient enough when it comes to our own infrastructure system, to manage and produce what we consume? Because for as long as Nigeria is not producing what we are consuming, it will continue to be, a big toll on the economy, and many Nigerians will continue to languish in poverty.
Okay, thank you very much. Before you go, sir.
Well, we'll be back again tomorrow, with more discussion. But like I said, hopefully before the end of the year, we might be bringing back, our Niger Voices on a Wednesday evening. But I'll be communicating that with all our listeners. But for now, remain with the Starr Radio UK network, the African, first radio station in London that brings you up to date on what is happening in Africa and likewise in the UK. I will hand it back to Archie to take you through the rest of the program. But from me here, I say very good morning and have a very great day. Bye for now.
Bye-bye. Have a great day too. All right then. Ladies and gentlemen, that is so nice going. You have this night.
And have a very good morning all. Bye for now.